Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Goofball Coalition. My name is Alex Knight. I'm an improviser.
My name is Sarah Kennedy. I am a stand-up comedian.
And I'm Leslie Nesbitt, and I do sketch comedy.
Yes, and the Goofball Coalition is the podcast where improv, sketch, and stand-up come together to form a delicious 3-cheese pizza ready for oven cooking at your own convenience, at your own time. It's a podcast. Eat it when you want. Are you two ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to the Goofball Coalition, the podcast that lives where improv and stand-up collide. And now, here's your hosts, Alex Knight and Sarah Kennedy.
And Leslie Nesbitt. Soon to be fixed. Thank you, Matthew is in the studio, I'm sure, at this very moment, working on our new intro. So today I wanted to just talk to you two about the idea of how do you be funnier? And maybe this is so I found a couple of lists, and a couple of them are definitely for like muggles, and then a couple of them are for like people on the talk show circuit. So I'm gonna go through just the normal people one because I think these are actually good advice, good things to talk about. So one was number one on, this is like I put a few of these lists together because they all had a lot of commonalities. Yeah. Either one because these are truths or because the internet is just regurgitating itself again and again, and the list you find of advice is lists of other advice culminated. Mm-hmm. But here we go. Number one is kind of like watch comedy shows like on TV and stuff.
It's a good
right. Clearly, that's kind of where I think any of us almost start. You see The Simpsons as a kid or whatever, and you laugh and you're like, I like that. So yeah, watch stuff on TV. Agree? Disagree? Agree?
I do. Although I know a couple comedians who won't watch other comedians because they don't want to be influenced by them. Mm-hmm. I don't. That's definitely nothing I subscribe to. I think you should watch as much as humanly possible so that you can.
And surely those people watch stuff at the start, right? They didn't just wake up and go, I want to do this thing I've never seen. Like you do have to see art before you can kind of do it. All right, great. Number two is learn some jokes. That's pretty straightforward and pretty, it seems like I don't know, like material and like a concrete thing instead of an open thing. But yeah, maybe some jokes, maybe down to even like knock jokes. Probably not a bad idea to have one or two jokes to understand the basic formula. I don't know. Agree? Disagree?
I'm in the middle.
All right, yeah. Because it seems that why are you in the middle on that one?
Well, because I always get when I tell people I'm an improviser, they'll be like, oh, tell me a joke. Mm-hmm. And then I won't have one.
Cool.
So there is that where like learn some jokes. So when you get that question, you should a couple jokes. But then also like with sketch comedy or something, learn premises.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Sure. But I think you're right in terms of like, Leslie, you're a funny person. If I said tell a joke, you might not have one. So a joke is not necessary to be a funny person, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So we're meeting on that one, maybe.
I just keep one in my back pocket if I ever get that question. I get the question a lot.
What is it? Do you have one?
Can I tell it to you?
Yes, please. Hey,
right.
You're a stand-up? You're a stand-up, Sarah? Tell me a joke. Tell me a joke.
Yeah. So it's not good, but that's why you have to pay money to see me be good. So it is. Why does the Little Mermaid wear seashells?
Why?
Because bee shells are too small.
It's pretty good. That is good. Yeah.
So
excellent. Yeah, I have like one joke that I can tell, but it's very long. It's one of those like very long ones. But like I think a little nugget like that. Yeah, that's a good one, Sarah. Perfect.
I wish I could remember any.
Yeah.
Number 3, spend time with funny people.
Oh.
I agree. Although it does seem hard to like just get in there without being a creep, kind of.
That's kind of the nice thing I think about stand-up is like if you go and sign up for an open mic, that's as much of an invitation as you could ask for from a social group.
Sure. Yeah. And same with our jams. Like it is very welcoming. Come on in there, sit down. You will be treated as an equal. That's kind of like our job and like what we want. We don't want people to feel outside. So yeah, if you want to spend time with funny people, you don't know where they are. Yeah. Come to open mics, come to jams. That's the place to start to see them. Mm-hmm. Agree, Leslie, down there?
I agree. I definitely agree.
Number 4, be yourself. Be yourself.
Yeah.
That's a scary, tough one. That seems like if I was a person trying to be funny, be yourself seems like a very tough one. But I as a comedian, think it's probably maybe the most important one in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Agreed.
Totally agreed.
You need to. Have to.
You must. All right.
Comedy will beat it out of you eventually.
It will. The falseness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In what ways? Like I know, but tell us.
I mean, you'll just bomb over and over and over again until you can tap into something that's real.
Yeah.
Something that's real and authentic to you. Even if you play a character, there has to be
Yeah.
some truth to it. Otherwise, it's a no-go.
It's so important. Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah, 100%. And I think any art that we consume, right? Any art that we like, there is some truth in there. Even if it's like a weird sci-fi novel, there is some sort of that writer's truth in there, and we know it or we don't. And I think, I don't know, we can think of lots of movies. I think there's some good Marvels maybe at the beginning, but that Marvel franchise for the end definitely seems like it's lost a lot of truth. Or even if it is truth, it's like 80 people's truths boiled down into a common truth, and then that becomes not a personal truth. Whereas like a little Tom Petty song about some heartbreak, that's closer to the source. So yes, be ourselves. Number 5, practice. I mean, sure.
Oh, if it was 3 practices, that's how you get to Carnegie Hall.
Yeah. 3 practices.
But it's only the 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good one. And that note probably needs more flushing out, because practice seems like, in what way do you practice? But I think it's kind of saying like fail, like go to a party and tell your mermaid joke. And if people don't laugh, like just try it again. And
they never don't laugh.
They never don't laugh.
Good one.
Practice, right? Yes.
But I was going to say, practice looks different for the 3 of us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Gosh.
Yes.
Really
And for a normal person, just practicing a joke at a party or whatever. But wherever it is, I think the idea of practice, I think we could change that to like fail. Try and fail a bunch of times. Like practice is failure, right? It's like practice isn't completing the thing. It's trying to complete the thing, kind of. So, all right. Yes. Agree though?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Sarah's kind of. 6, watch live comedy. We all like number 6.
I think that's the most important one. I think you should start doing that this weekend. If you're listening right now, just go and do that this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and without bias, do you feel watching comedy on TV or watching comedy live will make you, as a person trying to be funnier?
Yes.
Which one do you think is more important?
Well,
like a TV show or live?
You got to do both, because if you only think that comedy is what you see on TV, you don't know, especially for stand-up comedy, how rough and like only could be said here right now it is. And so I think you just think that it's too polished or too TV clean or whatever. Like there's so many other aspects to it when you see it in real life, for stand-up anyway.
Sure. I've been doing comedy for a while, and I will come watch a stand-up show and I will still be like, whoa, like, whoa, bro, come on. Like, you're going to offend someone. And like, that's part of it. It's like, it's sharper. Yeah. It's definitely grittier and sharper in real life. Same with our improv show. I think we will definitely cross lines that you don't see on TV. And it's not because we're trying to cross the lines or offend people. It's just because that's what we're feeling. That's what the audience kind of wants. And it's where it goes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie, what do you think?
Sketch, Leslie?
Yeah. I mean, that's, I was just thinking like, it's so, you have to do both. Let's just get that out. You have to do both for sketch, but sketch live is so much fun because you get to see the breaks or the, maybe the improvisation or something, or the playing with the audience, because that's something that I think with any of this comedy, we are adjusting to the audience at all times. Mm-hmm. So yeah, watch live comedy and see how people adjust.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like watch TV shows to see like comedy perfected, cleaned, and like polished, and then watch the live to see how much work goes into that other one and to appreciate it. And I think we would all agree you find to love the flaws more than that polish, for sure. I talk to my students a lot about the idea of, instead of defending damage, instead of trying to prevent the scene from falling apart, like let it fall apart, because we want to see people repair. We want to see people recover. Mm-hmm. We want to see the stand-up do like a fix with that heckler or whatever. We want to see the sketch person come back from their character break or whatever.
Yes.
It's much more fun to see us recover than it is to prevent that thing from happening.
Yeah. And what's fun about live stuff is that, like, even if you're doing the same thing over, but it's live, it's all different.
Yeah.
Right. So you could go see a show all the time, the same show, and it'll be different every time.
And that's for all three. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 7, find a practice buddy.
Oh,
Definitely for improv, for sure. Definitely for
Yes.
sketch, for sure. Stand up, yeah, nice to have a pair or two, or coalition, I imagine.
that's neat. It's rarer, but it's neat to have like at least an accountability buddy to make sure that you keep going. But
have you ever had a person that you paired up with at some point and like rolled together for like, a few months and like went to shows and pushed each other?
To various levels of intimacy. Like I've like,
Sure.
I've been a producing partner with somebody I dated for a long time. And then also I've done, projects and co-hosted and co-produced shows. But I don't know if and then that's not true. Cause in New York, there was this really cool show that we did all the time where it was duos. You had to get up on stage with somebody else and you had to do like a duo act. And so we would do duets or write stories that went back and forth and like whatever you could do whatever you wanted. It just had to be 2 people. And so I had a lot of opportunity to have a partner for that. But like, I really, really would love to have just somebody who you like meet up with and just like read the stuff that you've written to each other back and forth. I think that would be really cool. And I don't think I've ever had really that experience like so formally.
Yeah, me neither. And I've always like longed for that a little bit, like that person that really gets you and you bounce those ideas off of. And like, yeah, I've had it in partners and all kinds of ways, but I've never feel like I've had a practice buddy for my craft. I don't know, Leslie.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've had some like the same thing. Like I've had partners and I've worked with people on, writing sketches together or alone or bouncing stuff off. I think the latest thing that I have right now with the doodles is what we're just talking about, because we're able to bounce stuff off each other all the time and then write and just be like, what are we doing? This is fun.
So what if we add an S to that? Find practice buddies.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Multiple people in multiple capacities, not just that one unicorn you're looking for or whatever.
Yeah.
Great. Number 8, laugh at yourself.
Oh.
Definitely important. Yes. Do not try this task seriously.
You cannot be funny while being serious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's both. They can't exist without each other. So yeah. Number 9, employ use of self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one. It will get you funnier. Again, not necessary, maybe. Not necessary, but it is helpful. Or is it necessary?
I mean, I think I use it a lot. It's a tool I use a lot just because it's an easy way to be like, don't worry, to the crowd. It like disarms a crowd really easily to be like, you wouldn't hit a girl with glasses, would you? Like, like that kind of.
It's kind of the same as laugh at yourself, I guess. Like whatever the core of that note, I would say it's kind of the same thing. Like,
right.
Yeah. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Like,
self-deprecate. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't bully yourself.
Oh, right.
Like, recognize your silliness and then call it out. And then other people will recognize that in themselves.
I guess that's it. When I hear self-deprecation, I hear like really like flagellate yourself, like go to town, like destroy yourself. But no, it can be as simple as be present and be okay with your quirks, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Number 10, observe what makes others laugh. Laugh. Interesting. How much do we think about our audience when we're trying to be funnier? I mean, it's definitely, if you want to be funny is almost making other people laugh, so it is important. But if you're looking at more of like a Zen, trying to be more funny and open to the world, I don't know if the audience is super important. This one seems almost like if you're looking for results, but I don't know. How do you two feel?
That's a good question.
I'm pretty obsessed with it, actually. It's kind of important. It helps me. I don't know. I've been doing comedy for so long that it's changed a lot, too. And I don't want to make sure that I don't want to sound old when I'm on stage. And so knowing what everybody else is laughing at or seeing new people come through and have a different approach to it or trends, it helps me kind of just stay on top of them and be funny in that way too and evolve. So
yeah, probably being funny is probably a state that you were in right now, which also means it's important to know the state of the world to be funny. I'm sure you can be funny, but yes, people that used to be funny and are still doing the same bits are less funny now, I would argue. So yeah, you're right. Probably to stay in touch with like the pulse is pretty important.
Yeah.
Leslie?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was just thinking about like, I think I do pay attention to, at least like with sketch, like when you're having discussions with your friends about the latest show, you know, the show, I Think You Should Leave or whatever. Everybody
Yeah.
loves that show so much. And it's like, well, why do they love it? Right. So you just kind of keep an ear out of like stuff that people really love. And you're like, interesting. That's, you know, he's very self-deprecating.
Yeah. Even if someone you don't really like is like, I really like that show.
Yeah.
Weirdly still seems, yes. If you're super interested in comedy, it's important to be like, why do all these people like that show? Like there's something about it I don't like, but what is it? Yeah, that is kind of important to investigate.
Do you not like it, Leslie?
No, I like it. I really do. I really love it. But like, I think, you know, it's one of those things that's like, at least right now, everybody's like, oh, that show is so, like they're drooling over it because it's so different and it's so funny and weird. And so it is kind of one of those things where like, why is something else not hitting as well as this one? And this is also equally as weird as the other one, you know? Yeah.
Well, it's just always when you do this work that you've been doing for years and years and someone else does it and gets lots of credit for it, all of a sudden you're like, because you're equally as weird as him, for sure. Leslie. Like it could easily be you. And so I don't know if you feel any of that, but I feel that for you. I'm like, yeah, why not her? So like sometimes I get frustrated when it's like, when for me, it feels like it's not a new show and people are like, this is new. It's a new style. And you're like, I already love that thing or whatever. I can see it be frustrating. And for me, I have to do that little switch where I flip it and go, no, celebrate the thing that you love. The thing you love is being celebrated. Hop on the bandwagon instead of naysaying. But yeah. All right, great. Number 11, don't overdo it. Yeah, big one.
Oh,
chill out.
Yeah, chill out. That's pretty important.
Yes. Yeah, and I have a question for Sarah too about this because like I know a lot of people, at least from when I was in Chicago, maybe in LA too, or people were going to like 5 or 6, 7 open mics a night, you know, to practice. And I was like, is that what we're doing? Is that like too much? Like what?
I mean, if you can do it, you can do it. But in New York, I mean, the couple people I knew who used to go out and do that were like revered so much by the rest of the community that like they just got further faster, even just because they were doing something fantastic. So like, not only were they getting like they're closer to their 10,000 hours of being an expert, you know, but then they were also just like people would go, oh my God, she does 7 mics a night, and then people would go, oh my God, and so that was a cool feat to do. I had a goal in New York because you can feel like you're not doing enough. I would just try to get on stage 4 times a week because I thought that would give me enough balance to like have my day job not overrun me, be good to Kelly, and then also still stay on top of things more. And then that also was a mix between mics and getting booked. So if I was booked 4 times a week, that's a great week. But if I'm like, you know, need to go out and like show my face a little bit more, I better go out at least 4 times that week. So
yeah,
cool. Yeah, I would say like I it's more of like a false fear. I'm like, don't do it too much. But what am I actually afraid of? But that said, I've had students that maybe are taking 3 classes and you will just get 2 in your head about, you'll be thinking about that teacher's notes, that teacher's notes, that teacher's notes. And like, there is a time and a place to digest, I think sometimes the work, or like I try to play volleyball as much as I can, but if I can't for like a week and I come back, I'm like way better because there's something about like catching your breath and like readjusting and not being so much in the factory working, but like taking a step back and appreciating the thing you love, watch a show or whatever instead of playing all the time. But yeah, I think it's different for everyone. Like you said, if you can do it, you can do it. Like people have different levels of their ability. So whether it's 1 show or 2 shows or 5 shows a week.
Yeah. And I would also say when you say don't overdo it, I think of a person who's always on. And we've talked about that in this.
I think that's more what it means for me is like learn to not tell a joke. And as I've gotten better at comedy and had more opportunities, it's so much fun to avoid a joke. You're like, oh, there's a joke. Let's not say it. I think Tito mentioned that. That was something in his growth was like stopping telling jokes, seeing them and letting them go.
Yes.
I think that there's a difference between being conversationally delightful and like trying to do bits at people. Like I think there's a way for like, you can make a dinner party laugh and you can be like a little bit more Dorothy Parker than just like Carrot Top all the time, you know?
Sure.
So I think it's important to know the difference.
Yeah, no, I see that. Absolutely. Yeah. And then people just start a person that's on all the time. Other people are just like,
it's very unsettling.
Yeah.
Strangely, incredibly
don't
unsettling.
Overdo it.
It's going back to that's not yourself. being yourself, and that's not you. You are not on all the time, because otherwise, wow. I mean, maybe they are in the bathroom by themselves. Terrifying. All right. Understand timing and context. Yeah, I mean, that's knowing your audience and stuff. Yeah, there's no way that's not important. But I would say that's also like down the road, because that seems pretty tough to understand those things. You got to do all these other ones for a lot of more time, I think.
You know what's interesting about that timing is what I think about when people are saying, people say drama is easier than comedy because the timing of comedy is hard or something. And in my head, I'm like, what? That's the opposite for me. I don't get it. So yeah, timing is such a good thing to work on. And it's definitely more of an advanced, I've been practicing this and I've been watching a lot of comedy and I've been absorbing it to understand timing.
It's all feel, right? Asking you to, like, there's no part of you that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 punchline. Like it is such just feel, right? All of our timing.
Just feels right.
Yep,
feels right.
Perfect. Oh man, now I'm like hyper aware of everything we're saying and how. Yeah, all right. Cool. Yeah, very important. And context, going back to know the room kind of. Great. Don't use belittling jokes. I think that's going back to use self-deprecation, laugh at yourself, but don't beat yourself up, because that gets really uncomfortable fast too. Definitely, I've seen stand-up specifically that you're like, chill out, leave yourself alone. You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, they have that like going thing where it's like if you're at like a corporate retreat, you can always make fun of the boss, but you're not supposed to make fun of the janitor. Like always punch up and don't punch down. That's
terrible. Terrible to see the janitor getting harassed.
Come on. He works really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, the next one goes right with it. Number 14, avoid being judgmental. Yeah, don't judge people and stuff. And yeah, definitely always, it's not quite in here, but I think it's implied. Yeah, don't punch down. Don't punch down, punch up. 15 is smile and laugh. Smile and laugh. Yeah, that's in there. Yeah, it's in there.
That's nice.
And then I found these couple ones that were kind of funnier to me on different places that I pulled. And these are more like, I think if you're going to on the talk show circuit talking, if you're talking about your movie, one is give opposite answers to a yes or no. And I do that quite a bit. Like, what a funny piece of advice to be funnier. I don't know. Ask me a yes or no question, Leslie.
Did you have lunch today?
Well, that's tough because I didn't.
I don't know. I'm not.
Maybe it's when we're supposed to know the answer.
You would just say like, no, I had a feast today. I had it was better than lunch. Whatever.
Lunch? No.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Apparently Jennifer Lawrence does that well. This thing said she'll hit you with a lot of those in her interviews.
She's funny.
She is. Have a single joke that you tell well. I mean, okay, we talked about that one. Yes. Play with numbers. It said swap them around. If it's going to be a little one, say a big one. So, ask me how many cups of coffee I had today.
How many cups of coffee did you have today?
107.
Whoa.
It's hilarious, right?
Whoa. I do tend to do that. I
do both of these. I definitely do both of these. Rule of 3, it says, of course that wasn't in the other one, but rule of 3 is important. That's pretty heady for those threes. That
would be its own episode. We could do our own episode about the rule of 3s and how they show up.
We do a 3-parter.
Hey.
One of them said use a character switch. Play character. I don't know. These are terrible. In 50 Shades of Grey, apparently there's a line. These are the quotes to help reinforce these advices. It was in 50 Shades Freed. I think she says, what if I run out of here into the woods and I run into a bear? And he says something like, well, too bad for that bear.
Oh.
You switch the character traits. So the woman becomes the scary one, not the bear.
Got it.
That's all I got. Do you guys have any more tips for either pros or normal people trying to be funnier? Any tips to be funnier that we didn't cover?
I think taking a second and just relaxing can also help a lot. And that's actually good advice for me personally. Just like taking a breath and then just going out there, because that's the easiest way to get to the most authentic, natural you. And that's really what the core of it is, in my opinion.
I agree. Again, I'm always telling my students, like, slow down, take a breath, because seeing them up there as themselves or as their character selves and just existing is strangely like alluring and confident, and it like brings you in, and as an audience member makes you comfortable. So yeah, like taking your time whatever that means, and however you interpret it will be good advice. I agree with you, Sarah. Yeah. Leslie, you got anything?
Mine's completely opposite. It's so
nice.
funny. Pick one or two accents that you can get really good at. Read the back of a cereal box, read books out loud in that accent, and at any moment you could get into that accent and become a Midwestern lady.
That should be like number one on any of these lists.
Yeah.
Like, choose 2 accents. Like first day in prison, choose 2 accents. Learn them.
Up to the biggest accent, punch it in the nose.
The
That way the
toughest
other
one you
accents got to
got.
take you seriously. Yeah.
You're not wrong, Leslie. If you learn
It's
2
fun.
accents, if like anyone I was interacting with, the cashier all of a sudden turned on a Midwestern on me, yeah, they would get me and they would be funny.
Right?
Correct.
Yep.
All
All right.
ready for segment 3?
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, segment 3, where we just plug what we've got going on. So, I've got comedy shows on Friday and Saturday nights.
I've got comedy shows Friday and Saturday nights at 9 o'clock.
Friday and Saturday night.
Dang,
Come down to the
I don't
box.
suppose it's at the same address, is it?
It's probably right on the corner of 2nd and Gold.
It is.
Corner. But also, hey, I got a question for you. I saw on your flyer for your other show over at Old Cake, now Fluffy, correct?
Fuzzy Bunny.
Fuzzy Bunny, sorry. Your little Vice sticker on there. What's that about?
So all the headliners that we've got coming in all have different TV credits. So Vice and Adult Swim and all kinds of different Conan, I think. We've got a whole bunch of people coming through that have all been
That's
on.
so cool.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome. Like, so going back to our little advices, you can kind of see a merge there of like TV show people and live. You can see them do both the thing, the good thing, but unpolished. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's nice to be able to bring those people into town. So, go buy tickets to those. Those are Friday nights. That's still downtown. It just happens to be on like 5th and Central. So
it's not far.
Walking.
You can do
cool.
both.
Well, thank you all. Thanks to our Patreon donors. We love you so much.
Thank you.